Everybody, glad to bring you this one brand tutorial using only Rimmel products. So the reason why I do these videos is because I think it's important to see exactly how the products in a certain brand function without throwing in anything extra or any, long-time favorite product from this brand or that brand that can kind of cover up what this one brand can do. So yeah, I've gone kind of every other in terms of high-end and drugstore. So I started with Tarte, then did e.l.f., then MAC, and now Rimmel. So definitely let me know what brands you want to see in these videos. I've kind of been going off of what a lot of people have been asking for. You're also going to get to see how I got this smoky eye that just really has that effortless look to it instead of being an eye that just looks like, oh, it's just so super precise and every little bit has been slaved over. This is definitely that sexy, smudgy, smoky eye that you can get really, really easily. So to start out, I have a primer from Rimmel that I'm going to use. It's the newer primer they have. It's Fix and Perfect Pro. It's actually a really good primer. I enjoy the texture this leaves on my skin a little better than the traditional Fix and Perfect, or the first one that came out. It was kind of peachy toned. This is just kind of creamy. Next I'm going to be using one of my favorite foundations. It's Rimmel Lasting Finish. My shade is 200 Soft Beige. I think if I were to pick a downfall of this product, it would be that there's just not a huge shade selection. So I think that limits some people, but 200 has always been just right for me. So I like this foundation. My mom, who is in her 60s, enjoys this foundation. I feel like this lasts a long time, but it also stays looking the same. You know how some foundations almost kind of, I don't know, they transform a little bit. They oxidize on your skin, and as you wear them, you come out with a different color by midday than what you started with. And this really stays looking the same. And if you're looking for, the least cakey appearance possible, first off, I don't think this is an especially cakey foundation, but apply it with your fingers. If you're a brush girl, apply it with your fingers because it really does kind of help it melt into the skin better. And if you notice any areas that don't look natural, just kind of press around them. Next I'm going to use a newer concealer that I got from Rimmel. It's the Match Perfection 2-in-1 concealer and highlighter. And so I got it in the shade Light. It's number 245. It has this sort of brush tip. I mean, I'm not dealing with ultra dark circles, which I would like to use a salmon tone concealer for, so this is kind of nice. It actually seems like it has a pretty natural finish, which some concealers, they come out liquidy, but then they kind of almost, I don't want to say harden, but the appearance does not look as soft as it did when you first blended it in, and this wears pretty well throughout the day. I have kind of a sunspot going on right here that's actually fading a little bit, but I mean, it's right in this area, and this totally covered that up. To have a powder from Rimmel called Stay Matte, but I guess I ran out because I'm not finding that anymore. So I'm just going to go straight to the bronzer step, and I'm using the Rimmel. It's the natural bronzer. It has a lid like that, and this shade is Sundance. This one has a little sparkle to it. Sunlight is relatively matte. So I'm just gonna, this is a pretty light bronzer, so I'm just gonna dust this on all over. I've been a fan of this bronzer for a long time, both shades that I mentioned. It reminds me a lot in tone of NYC Sunny, so I like both of those, and it's just kind of a matter of what you have access to. Not everyone has Rimmel, not everyone has NYC, so if you can get one of the two, you're in pretty good shape for a light, natural looking bronzer. Next for blush, I'm using the blush that I absolutely love, and this is the Lasting Finish Blush in Autumn Catwalk, and as you can see, it's actually a blush, but it's also a highlight. I focus the colorful side of this blush. I'm just going to start blending that right here, kind of high on the cheek for a really natural blushed look. I think it's pigmented enough to stand out on even darker skin tones. I'm going to focus my brush there on the outside and sort of run this just on top of the cheekbone for a little highlighted effect. Great money saving product too, because you're getting two functions in one here. eyes. As you can see, if you look at this eye, even where it's sort of a black color, there's a little sheen coming through. And so we're gonna do a little layering to make that look happen. I'm using the Glam Eyes just single shadow in Backstage. So this is a shimmery shade, kind of along the lines of MAC Satin Taupe. So I'm just going to take a flat brush and really blot that all over the eyelid here. Really concentrating it mainly right around the corner. In fact, kind of go, see how you can just kind of blot a brush like this right here and pick up all around the tear duct if you don't have a tiny brush. Next, I'm using the single in Jet Black, and this isn't quite as scary as it looks. It's not the blackest black shadow I've ever used, which can make it a little more wearable, and it doesn't have a bunch of fallout either, so I do like that about these shadows. And I'm just going to take a flat brush and pick up some of the product. Using a flat brush, it's just going to give me a little more control of where this shadow goes. And as you can see, we're just overlapping. We're getting a black with some dimension, and it just looks like a pretty shimmery black. Then you can take it kind of up to the crease as well. We'll finish blending that out in a second. First, I'm going to take a pencil brush with the black, and we're just going to take this right under the eye. So lower lash line, smudge this all the way through. My philosophy on smoky eyes, I think, has kind of evolved over time, and I really think they should have kind of an effortless look to them. Not that they've been slaved over and just really precise, but they should look just kind of smudgy and just like, you know, bam, there's a girl with great eyes, not look at how much work she did to get her eyeshadow on there. So as you can see, I'm just taking the pencil brush and using that as a means to blend the lower lash line with a little bit of an outer V type thing. We're just kind of bringing the shape out just a bit. And then we're going to turn to some brown shadow, which can be a great way to blend out the edge of something that is black or charcoal or gray, because you might not think of it at first, but it actually is, you know, kind of your segue from black to skin. You know what I mean? So it makes it just a little more wearable. So there is just a bit of fallout for some reason with this matte brown shade called Dusk, but I'm going to pick some of that up and just kind of go over the border here of your black, and you're going to notice, you know, it just looks a little more natural up against just the bare skin right above. And then I'm taking my pencil brush with a little more of that brown, and we're just going to go, not taking it too far down, but almost overlapping the black. It's going to soften it a little bit. I don't have a good shade that works as, you know, a wonderful highlight here, so I'm actually going to go back to the blush, to the highlight that's in the blush, which is just a light pink. It just kind of finishes the look rather than being a bold, you know, white highlight. For eyeliner, I'm going to be using the soft Kohl eyeliner, and the shade is Jet Black. So we're going to go to the waterline with this, so just kind of gently, I mean, I'm not even really pulling down. I'm just pulling it back from the eyeball just a bit. And I find once I do this, and when I'm working with really black, kind of, you know, smoky tones on the eye, the brown in my eye instantly comes out here. And then we're going to just, I'm kind of smudging it then right between the lashes. And then we're going to take this across the upper lash line. Again, the shadow is already dark, but it's nice to kind of really get this in there with the lashes. Next, I'm going to curl my lashes. I'm using a mascara called Glam Eyes Lash Flirt Volume and Lift Mascara. It looks like this, and it's a rubber brush that actually has some sort of excuse me. Oh man. It has kind of like some little combs built into it. See that? So it's gonna hopefully separate the lashes. I find it does an okay job of giving me some separation. I'm glad that sneeze happened before I put my first coat of mascara on. Have you ever had that happen? I feel like I have, when I'm just putting on my mascara and it's like, oh, why do you have to sneeze now? So I'm kind of working the brush like this with little outward strokes to get any of those little lashes in the corner. They can be hard to get sometimes. Now for lips, I'm going to be using a few products. I've got the 1000 Kisses Stay On Lip Liner Pencil, and it's in natural, so it's a nice lip liner that's pretty much the tone of my lips. And I'm just gonna line all over and fill in as well. Next, I'm using the lipstick in Dreamy, and this is just a really light, shimmery, makes me think of a peachy nude. And for the gloss, love this gloss. It's Stay Glossy in, oh goodness, there's no name on here. I'll look it up for you, but oh, I love the texture. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial, and now I'll just try to quickly go through some mini reviews on some of these products just so you know what I actually think about everything I use. Definitely a fan of the new Fix and Perfect Pro Primer. If you're looking for a great drugstore primer, I think that's a really good one. Evens out texture, doesn't feel as slippery, silky as, say, a Smashbox Photo Finish, but still gives a really nice smooth canvas. Always been a fan of Rimmel Lasting Finish, so I mean, that is just a universally great foundation that I wear on the air in high definition. Staying power wise, a lot of people want to know, how does your look last after you did this one brand look on this brand or that brand? I can tell you, I wear this foundation often and it lasts me all day long. Match Perfection was the newer face product to me. It's definitely not your heavy duty conceal, the deepest, darkest circle. Generally speaking, around the face, I think it works okay. I've been a longtime fan of the natural bronzer, so just a great affordable option. And the blush really impressed me recently. I haven't had this for that long, but this blush in Autumn Catwalk is universally beautiful, so I love that it incorporates a highlighter as well. As far as Rimmel eyeshadows go, remember when they used to be kind of packaged like this? Was never a big fan of those. I just thought they weren't very pigmented and it just took too much work to get the color off, but then they came out with Glam eyes, and I have blogged specifically about these eyeshadows. I love these. I love these singles, so I was really happy with the way they performed. I like that they gave me a lot of pigmentation without having fallout. These last fine with a primer. I've actually never used them without a primer, but I haven't had staying power issues with these either. Love these neutral shades. I need to branch out and try some colors, but those are great everyday basics. Soft Kohl liner. Yes, it goes on really easily, but this is one thing that does not quite have the staying power with it. It's definitely going to be a liner. If you put it in your waterline, which I did, it will have to be reapplied. So not really an eyeliner I would say rush out and get. Mascara was pretty nice in terms of giving me some separation. It didn't give me like false lash looking body and volume and just va-va-boom lashes, but again, this is just kind of an average mascara for me. This particular lip liner called Natural, if you're looking for one of those lip liners that is the shade of a general, the average lip, this is really good. It's a great base for a lip gloss or a great base for a nude lip. The lipstick that I used in Dreamy, in general, I love the Moisture Renew lipsticks. I have a bunch of them, not only in nude shades, but in more colorful shades. They work really well. They're not going to last you the entire day without having to reapply, but I mean, I don't mind that too much. They're pigmented, they're rich, they're moisturizing. And the Stay Glossy lip gloss. This is an interesting texture of lip gloss. It feels so smooth on the lips. It doesn't feel like it's going to come outside your lip line and stray. I mean, it's not that slick and greasy feeling, but it's just really nice and smooth, and it in a way kind of adheres to your lips, and it does last a decently long time. So this on top of your Rimmel lipstick will, I think, increase your staying power, but if you've been eating or kissing or whatever, you're going to need to reapply, obviously. But I love that color too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a thing or two about the brand. I'm a big fan of Rimmel face products. I love the Rimmel lip products as well, and I tell you what, they're really onto something with their new eyeshadows too, the Glam Eyes singles. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you again next time.